ちなみに手を叩くのが発動条件だ。
Let's kick things off with a quote from one of tonight's protagonists, the guy who, in order to save others, doesn't mind eating fingers. Yes, literally. I'm not a hero, I'm just an idiot with a bit of power. That's right, Itadori Yuji. You may be humble, but you're about to face the toughest challenge of your life. Good evening, friends. This week brought two certainties. The first film in the final Demon Slayer trilogy is smashing box office records. And tonight, as promised, we're here to present the first part of our weekly news segment, What's New with the News? We all know the hot topics, so let's get to it. In the anime world, our podium includes Season 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen, Bring on the Even Deadlier Games. Season 3 of Oshi no Ko, Revenge Now, comes in glittery, feminine form. And of course, a set of shorts from one of the most important mangaka of the moment, Tatsuki Fujimoto. The series is called Tatsuki Fujimoto 17 to 26. We've also got magical girls, antisocial relationships, and content you definitely shouldn't watch with kids in the room. In the manga world, several classics are entering their final stretch, including Ultraman, a title with serious invincible vibes. Legend of the Galactic Heroes, packed with dramatic speeches and intense space battles, and The New Prince of Tennis, which seems set to end next year, finally wrapping up the protagonist's long-standing challenge to the laws of physics. And YouTube, what about you? Have you seen the first Infinity Castle movie yet? No major spoilers, but it looks like Ufotable's animation budget is infinite, and the villains of Apar, once you learn their backstories, might not be as villainous as they seem. That's all we'll say. You can roll the video now.
Bang. 夢中になる取りつかれ男のジュゼッペ。
Since movies are trending, let's kick off with one. The musical anime Toritsukare Otoko is on its way, complete with trailer, music, cast, and enough drama to fill an entire Broadway show. Literally. Masaya Sano and Moka Kamishiraishi sing, dance, and play Giuseppe and Pechka. Yes, those are real names. Awesome City Club makes its soundtrack debut with 5 tracks, because why not? Directed by Wataru Takahashi, the film premieres in Japan on November 7th. Get your ears and sarcasm ready.
2026年放送のテレビアニメ「真夜中ハートチューン」にて山吹アリスの声を担当いたします安田陸也です。
Who knew amateur radio and teenagers could lead to this? New anime incoming. Tune in to the Midnight Heart premieres in 2026 and it's already dramatic. The cast climbed Mount Fuji at sunrise to pray for the show's success because normal marketing budgets are overrated. The story follows Arisu, a teen obsessed with finding a mysterious radio host named Apollo, who vanished without a trace. His search leads him to a school broadcasting club full of girls with big voice streams, mystery, microphones, and mountains. The full package.
この寮の管理人か。住み込みのバイトは助かるな。
If there are kids around, cover their eyes and ears. Brace yourselves. Don't touch. Kotasashi drops October 5th with censored, semi-censored, and fully uncensored versions for the brave souls on Anime Festa. The promo video is out, along with an NSFW visual that screams, "Don't open this at work." Theme songs by Utage and Palette Parade, plus an early screening on September 28th. Yes, this is an anime. No, it's not a tutorial on personal space.
日高くんの未来が詰まってる大切なものだから、私は守れて嬉しい。手を温めるより行動できて。
For fans of interspecies romance, this one's for you. With you, our love will make it through premieres. October 14th and promises romance, prejudice, and emotional fur. Marie, a perpetually late student in every sense, bumps into a half-human, half-plush classmate and starts catching feelings that biology textbooks don't cover. Soundtrack by Chico with Honeyworks and Yo Kamiyama, and the trailer already serves up blushes and tension, because nothing says true love like a fuzzy crush.
朝あなたはこんな醜悪な場にふさわしくはない明日も明後日も
Interpersonal relationships are never easy, especially with family. Akoku Nikki premieres January 2026 and promises a living arrangement as awkward as a family dinner with banned topics. Makio, a 35-year-old antisocial writer, impulsively adopts her 15-year-old niece and instantly regrets it. Now they live together, navigating domestic chaos between an orphaned teen and an emotionally frozen adult. Expect drama, awkward silences, and probably hot tea. Girls and Magic, a combo that never goes out of style. Magical girl-raising Project Restart returns in 2026 with new animation, new music, and the same sugary carnage. Synergy SP takes the reins, but the cast and crew stick to the original chaos. The story? A glittery battle royale. 16 magical girls enter, half must go, and not because they ran out of candy. Snow White returns, this time with less innocence and more survival instinct. In this game, being cute isn't enough.
It's different from when I thought of everything by myself. Their work is indispensable. The
joy of impermanence. I will definitely.
And of course, we couldn't skip a continuation. Apocalypse bringer Minagra keeps spreading destruction and dark charm with its third promo video, now teasing the second half of the series. It premiered July 6th and is available on every Japanese platform. And, of course, on Crunchyroll for the rest of us mere mortals. The premise? World domination with ruined civilizations because peace and diplomacy are so last century.
高校に入るまでは可愛い妹だった
Taking third place on this week's podium, the genius of one of this generation's top mangaka, Tatsuki Fujimoto, 17 to 26, hits Prime Video on November 8th with 8 short films promising emotional chaos, existentialism, and that classic "what did I just watch" vibe. Each episode has a different team, including directors from Blue Lock, Magus's Bride, and even Fireworks. Yes, the one no one knows if they saw from the side or the bottom. 6 studios are involved, including debutante studio Graph 77, who decided to kick things off with Fujimoto because starting simple is way too mainstream.
向こうから会いたいって言いたくなるほど売れたら会わせてくれるんだね。吉住さん、ちゃんと寝てます？
With this week's Silver Medal, the long-awaited third season of one of the biggest cultural phenomena in recent years. Oshinoko returns in January 2026 with more drama, more sparkle, and probably more emotional trauma disguised as entertainment. The event revealed a new visual, extra cast, and a commemorative video that screams, "Get ready to suffer beautifully." The cherry on top? A virtual live tour from Bikamachi with 12 performances in April, because if you can't see real idols, digital ones with more charisma than politicians will do. Oh, and there's a puzzle game coming, because solving mysteries while recovering from the plot is peak fandom.
俺はもうみんなと一緒にはいられない。
And in first place, with the gold medal, the return of the Jujutsu Sorcerers. After last season's madness, what's next? Jujutsu Kaisen celebrated its 5th anniversary with a fan-favorite Seiyu reunion and a flood of announcements that not even a domain expansion could contain. Season 3 premieres January 2026 with The Culling Game, where Yuta Okotsu decides Itadori needs a lesson, Blade included. The clash between The Cursed 2 promises to be so epic, your screen might need an exorcism. And just to top it off, the Shibuya incident returns to theaters in a special edition, because trauma in HD is always a good idea. Let's start with a spin-off of a classic that's reaching its end. Lupin III, Neighbor World Princess, is entering its final arc. Yes, even Lupin has limits, even in parallel worlds. This isekai version kicked off in 2021, got a second season in 2022, and will wrap up with Volume 17 in October. The author, Kayaki Uchi, who clearly doesn't sleep, also writes Failure Frame, where weak spells cause total destruction. Because in this universe, even the rejects get explosive revenge and anime adaptations. Of course, Square Enix couldn't miss this segment. Blatodea, the manga that mixes bugs, trauma, and assassins like an emotional cocktail served in panels, is officially entering its final stage. The story continues the legacy of Arachnid, where Alice, orphaned, unstable, and trained by a killer, returns for another round of psychological chaos. Murata and Hayami, a creative duo with a history of intense and slightly disturbing works, are closing another chapter in their entomological saga. Everyone needs a break. Overworking is overrated. The new Prince of Tennis is taking a one-issue break, but returns in October with more dramatic poses and racket slams. Takeshi Konomi announced the manga will end within a year. Yes, after decades of service to Japan's most intense school sport. Ryoma Ekizen continues to defy physics and puberty, while the franchise collects adaptations like trophies, anime, films, live-action series, and even musicals. Another classic title approaching its end. Nothing Lasts Forever. Legend of the Galactic Heroes is gearing up for its final battle. And no, it's not just another space shootout with dramatic speeches. Ryu Fujisaki, known for turning chaos into art, Hoshin Engi Shiki, is about to close this galactic opera that began in 2015 and has switched magazines like Changing Starships. The war between the Galactic Empire and the Free Planets Alliance reaches its climax, with Reinhard and Yang giving it all in the name of strategy, honor, and probably a lot of existential suffering. All creatures deserve medical care, even dragons. Luca, the dragon vet, has officially entered its final arc. Though the last appointment is still a ways off, dragons have a lot of scales to shed. The story follows Luca, an aspiring dragon vet in a world where flying on giant reptiles is as normal as catching the bus. Between impossible exams, family prejudice, and fire-breathing patients, she's out to prove she's got more grit than pedigree. The print edition lands in 2026, perfect for fans of magic, medicine, and dragons with digestive issues. And we end as we began, with a classic entering its final phase. Ultraman is going on hiatus until spring 2026, when it returns with its final arc. Yes, the end is near, but expect cosmic explosions and intergenerational dilemmas. The story follows Shinjiro, a seemingly normal teen who discovers he inherited the Ultraman factor from his father, the legendary Shin Hayata. The result? Puberty with superpowers and giant monsters. Created by the Line Barrels of Iron duo, this manga is basically the emotional equivalent of finding out your dad was a superhero. And we're wrapping up with a quote from one of the darkest universes out there. And yes, it made today's anime podium, the world of showbiz. Aqua is all I have left, so don't ask me not to love him. Yep, Ruby really said that. And considering we're talking about Oshi no Ko, it's not exactly shocking, but it still left a lot of people stunned. So, what did you enjoy the most? In the anime world, today's podium was a wild ride. Sorcerers and curses with a healthy dose of beatdowns, emotional drama that'll glue us to the screen, and a batch of short stories from the twisted genius behind Chainsaw Man, now streaming on Prime Video. We also had content with a red warning dot and an 18+ label. Magical girl battles, where anything goes, yes, even eye gouging. Interspecies romance, an antisocial aunt and niece duo, and, wait for it, a musical. Because we aim to please every flavor of chaos. On the manga side, several titles are entering their final arcs, including sports played mid-space battle and deep reflections on legacy. Naturally, we couldn't skip the detectives and, you heard it right, dragon veterinarians. Hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, share it with your crew, and have a great rest of your Saturday and an epic Sunday. And don't forget to grab your ticket for tomorrow. Same time, different topics, and all tailored to your interests. See you then, folks!